This podcast is hosted on podhome.fm, the most modern podcast hosting platform. Podhome offers unlimited episodes and podcasts, and unlimited use of Podhome AI, which generates transcripts, clips, chapters, title suggestions, show notes, and much more. And all of that for just $15.99 a month or $185 per year. That's a steal. So go to podhome.fm and start your 30-day trial now. And enjoy the show with Joe.
Transmitting live from the Asylum Studios, deep in the bowels of Southwest Texas, it's the Joe Rooz Show. The show where we talk about anything and everything. Where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
Alrighty, hey folks, it is Friday, the 20th of February, 2026. It is 19:03 hours. I am Joe Rooz, and it is great to be with you once again, transmitting live at the Asylum, doing the best we can to bring you the best quality talk radio we could muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the Joe Rooz Show. All right, folks, it is fantastic to be with you again on a Friday night. We got a show for you tonight, really important show, and we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But I want to ask you, were you able to catch the show on Wednesday? I almost said Friday. Wednesday's show with Paul Schrader. If you haven't checked it out, you need to go over to Rumble or YouTube or wherever and listen or watch it. Really good show. Paul was an e-commerce guy. He does a lot of the TikTok commerce, the content sellers or merchants, whatever they call them on TikTok. I don't know. I'm not a TikTok person. Not a big fan of TikTok either. I don't think any grown man should be on TikTok. But another story, another show. We'll deal with that another time. But he had some really great insight. We got a lot of really good feedback on it. So if you have not had the opportunity to check it out, please head over there and check those things out. They are really valuable information, especially if you're on TikTok and you're a content creator and maybe you have some merch and stuff that you want to sell. So you need to go over there and check that out for sure. Great stuff, really good stuff. Check it out. All right, now tonight's show is really important. It's also very timely. As you know, here in Eagle Pass, around Texas, I should say, it is like the middle of primary season and early voting, and so we're excited about the slate of candidates. I went down to the polling place the other day, and just to see the number of people on the ballot, 2 sides to a ballot. I love it. It's great. This is what a constitutional republic is, hearing the voice of the people. So extremely important period of time here in Texas. So if you haven't gotten out to vote yet, please go do that. Early voting ends, I think, next week. And then I think the last day is, or the last primary day is March 3rd. So make sure you get out to the polls and make sure you vote. Every community reaches a moment where people start asking hard questions. Questions about leadership, questions about transparency, questions about whether the people that are in power are truly serving the public or, quite frankly, just serving themselves. Now, tonight's guest didn't come from politics. He came from military service. He came from running a small business. He came from speaking directly to his community through his podcast, asking questions that, honestly, others wouldn't ask. And now he's stepping forward, not just to talk about change, but to try to lead it. Tonight, we're going to talk about leadership, transparency, and the future of Maverick County. But before we do that, we're going to get into some of the housekeeping stuff that we normally do. So if you would, please head over to our website, joerooz.com. That's joerooz.com. And when you get over there, take a look around and look for the contact section. Open up that little web form and send us over a message. Let us know whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, any questions, comments, cares, or concerns that you might have. Maybe you have a complaint. You shouldn't have a complaint, but if you do, you can send it to us through that, and we will give it the just attention it deserves. Or if you don't want to do that, you want to use the email address, you can do that as well by emailing us at info@joerooz.com. That's info@joerooz.com. And another great idea would be if you leave a comment down there in the comment section, either on YouTube Or, oh, you know what? I forgot to turn on the comments on the YouTube channel. Oh, well, no big deal. But you can do it on Rumble. That's where we want you anyway. You need to come to Rumble. Get the hell away from YouTube. YouTube sucks compared to Rumble. And I'm saying that because I already have 2 strikes on YouTube. I'm waiting for number 3. So everybody who's following this show on YouTube, leave. Come to Rumble. First of all, it's beautiful here. The weather is gorgeous. It's 72 degrees every day, white, billowy clouds and a crystal clear blue sky. Gorgeous. The water's always perfect. Everything is great here at Rumble. Come on over to Rumble. That's where we are. So you can follow us at rumble.com/Joe Rooz, rumble.com/Joe Rooz. Also want to remind you that this is a live show, weeknights, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget the Saturday shows that we do with our resident crypto psychic, Marissa Lee, every other Saturday at noon. And then, of course, we have our Sunday Bible study show every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. So check it out. Come on over, pay a visit. We'd love to have you. And we do some really good stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah, but you have to come and check it out to find out. All right. And also, folks, please don't forget, like, subscribe, and share the show with your friends, your family, and your followers. That way you will help us to spread the good news of this show and the joy and the love and all that other crap that goes along with it. So check it out. All right. And we would really, really appreciate that. All right. Now, waiting here backstage, and we're going to bring him up right now, is Ruben J. Camarillo. He's a U.S. Army veteran, small business owner, and the host of the infamous Now You Know Eagle Pass podcast, a platform that's focused on local politics, community issues, and transparency here in Maverick County. Through his podcast and community involvement, Ruben has built a reputation for addressing issues affecting residents in Eagle Pass and the surrounding communities, giving voice to concerns about government accountability, public safety, and representation. Now, he's running for Maverick County Judge, seeking to bring transparency, accountability, and leadership rooted in service to the people of Maverick County. Ruben, hey, welcome back to the show, man.
Joe, it's good to be back on the show, man. Thank you so much for the invite. Sorry if I sound a little under the weather. I think it's allergies, but I know everybody says that. But thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
You're all good, and that's why we do these things remote, so I don't get sick. So,
yeah.
No, but it's great to have you, man. And just for, transparency, I'm going to use the word transparency. Ruben and I have done several shows together in the past. We did a 3-hour live stream not too long ago. He's popped in on other segments that we've done. He's a great guy, and I want to give him an opportunity here to get on the show and lay his case out. All right. Now, but before we get into the serious stuff, before we get into this, I have to ask you, what is something that you pretend to understand but really don't?
Spanish.
Oh, I was not expecting that one.
No, my wife and my manager always tell me, like, if you don't understand it, don't nod your head. Okay, well, I'm trying to understand it, and don't get me wrong. I know a lot. I know enough to get me by. I'm still practicing. So for all my Spanish speakers out there in Maverick County, I'm trying. I seriously am. I got Rosetta Stone and everything. Hopefully by then I'll be able to interview in full-blown Spanish. So I'm working on it.
Well, you're putting more effort into it than I am. I'll be honest with you. I've been living here in Eagle Pass, for 10 years now, and I understand what I call work Spanish. Okay, so all that, if you're not familiar with that, what that means is basically when I'm at work and people are speaking Spanish around me, I get the idea of what they're talking about, mainly because it's all work related. So it makes it easier that way. But outside of that, man, I am lost. I go to the bank, I go to HEB, I go to someplace, and they start speaking and rattling that thing off, and especially when they speak fast and it sounds like a machine gun going off. Holy cow! I am like. What? Okay. Yeah. See, I violated the rule that your wife and your manager set up there. I just nod my head and say yes and laugh along with the joke, not knowing what the hell I'm laughing at.
Yeah. She's actually on right now. She's laughing at me. But yeah, they know what I'm talking about. So I mean, on the Facebook end, and you know what? I was going to tell you, Joe. Speaking of transparency, I really wish you would have told me you were going to downgrade or down talk YouTube. Otherwise I wouldn't be streaming it to YouTube.
No, you could do it. I want to pull people from YouTube. I want them to come to the light. They need to get away from YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube sucks. I'm trying to get the third strike, so just so I could just.
We'll see what happens.
No, it is. They want me to go through this sensitivity training thing that to get rid of the strikes, and I refuse to do it. No.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
No. I stand firm on my conviction, sir.
Okay.
So,
Matter your word. I got it. Always.
all right. Next question for you. So, what is one thing that people would be surprised to learn about you in the first 5 minutes? Now, don't take 5 minutes to answer the question. Just if somebody met you in the first 5 minutes, what would they be surprised to learn about you? You can't use the Spanish thing again.
Oh yeah. I guess. Shoot. I guess this is going to take me. I'm horrible at talking about myself. You know this, Joe.
That's what the whole point of the show is about tonight.
I would say very friendly, very open, and I think I can really form a relationship within 5 minutes. I mean, I'm a very outgoing person. I have that natural pizzazz, if you will. Not tooting my own horn here. Like I said, I hate talking about myself, but I think it's
all right.
That's the good thing about. I think that's something that somebody would find out in 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fair enough. And I would agree with that, because when you and I first connected, it was like we were best friends like within 2 minutes of the phone call.
Yeah, even the dogs too, man, and you know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they actually like you, which is unusual. They don't like very many people. So Ruben, so you cast your hat into the ring. Kudos to that. A lot of people talk about that stuff, but they never really do it. But what first led you into public service? Was it military experience, your background in business, or was it your involvement in the community itself?
It definitely has to be the involvement with the community itself. I mean, I have some really good mentors out there who have told me, you don't need a title to serve, and that really stuck with me. And when I've always wanted to actually run for office, I always told myself, no, you don't have a chance, Ruben. I think that's just something that somebody else needs to take the mantle on or take the reins of. And then it just finally happened. I saw an opportunity and I figured, you know what, I'm somebody that wants to better the community. And I pretty much kind of did the math, being in a Lions Club, being, wanting to serve in the Lions Club. Shout out to my Lions Club members out there. I know I haven't been to a meeting in some time, but I kind of wanted to stay away from that. I didn't want it to look political in any of my organizations. The American Legion, all my veterans, shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. All my old geezers out there. I love y'all. And just wanting to help make the community better. And so, you know what, why not run for county judge? You know what I mean? I think that was an opportunity that came up. I really didn't have to think about it too much. I think we've discussed this before.
Yes.
And here we are.
All right. Now, how did your time in the Army shape the way you view leadership and responsibility?
Man, that is what I really live my life on.
By the way, if I didn't say it, thank you for your service.
Oh, no, of course. You say it all the time, man. I appreciate that. And all it takes is once. You're good. Your grandfather did.
Okay. Well, for the sake of the audience, let's.
Of course. Oh, thank you, man. That's something that was really instilled in me. I mean, I would think it would be instilled in everyone after they get out. Living the Army values. I'm trying to recollect. Oh my gosh, what was the? Oh my gosh, if somebody's out there with the comments, what were the Army values? Because it was a letter. They were in letters. And we would always be shouting them every single time before we went to chow. And that is what really instilled in us.
It wasn't AWOL, right? No, I'm kidding.
No, definitely not.
I know.
My goodness.
No disrespect intended. No, none of that.
Oh, it was leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. These are the 7 Army values we live by. And I've instilled them into me ever since this day. I was a non-commissioned officer in the Army, and that's where accountability comes in, because everything that your soldiers did was your fault, no matter what they did. You're the leader. You're wearing the stripes. You have to take accountability. If your soldier decides to go buy a Mercedes-Benz, it's your fault that you didn't teach them, the young soldier, that, hey, you really shouldn't do that until you have your finances straight up. the lives of the soldiers were our sole responsibility. And when you have the lives of people that you're responsible for, especially when you have to go, thank God I hadn't been deployed, but when you do have to go deployed and those soldiers' lives are in your hands, that's something that they really instilled in us. And so I'm thinking, okay, if I can take the life of a human being my sole responsibility, I think I can take some constituents and taxpayers and treat them right, do them a service.
All right. Well, tell us about your early life here in Maverick County. What shaped you?
What shaped me was the people. I when I moved here, I'm not going to get too deep into, when I moved here. I think I've discussed that too. I fell in love with the community. There's a lot of good people out there. I'll even name a few. My good friend Sandra Ruiz, she's a public figure here in the city and county who works at I think she works for the college. I think it's at Southwest Texas or at Sol Ross. She's very engaged in the community, and that's somebody that I looked up to. And I took advice from her. If anybody doesn't know, she's a hola hola. She did that at the beginning of every single segment, and it was great. Like that's her, and she was so nice to me, and she let me use her studio, and then then I met some more friends on the way, and my good friend Alex Flores, who introduced me to the Lions Club. That was a way I could serve. That shaped me really well too, because that organization is all about serving the community. And then just talking with other public officials, other politicians that there are some that I still talk to and that are still good friends of mine, and then there are some where we just kind of split. So, but I took all of that, and that's what kind of helped me grow. I know that being a podcaster and a journalist, you can't make friends as a journalist, obviously. But then I figured, this was my time to say, I've actually grown. I've actually been shaped and molded. It's time. It's time to give back.
Yeah. How do I phrase this? What values guide your decisions today, both personally and professionally?
My values, pretty much, my duty to God, God and the word of Jesus Christ really had guided me throughout my life. I know I had struggled in the past. I think, following his example is the hardest thing to do. Mm-hmm. Because if we were all like him or perfect just like him, I don't, there wouldn't be any faith. That's the true test and trials that our Lord and Savior gave us. And it took me some time to realize that, man, that's the type of person I want to be. Those are the values that I need to live by. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect. Like, I struggle with it. But that's the beauty of it. We're not perfect. So yeah, that's my example there.
So what ultimately led you to transition from podcasting and commentary into actually running for office?
Well, along the way, doing podcasting, like I said before, the first mission was to actually bring a conservative voice to Maverick County because it was a huge Democratic stronghold. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it's true that the Republican Party presence really never it did exist, but it's not as big as the Democratic Party that's out here. And I wanted to give that to them. I wanted to kind of strengthen that a little bit and give those who are conservative a voice, not necessarily to drown out the Democrats or anything like that, because that's totally impossible. We need each other. Democrats and Republicans need each other. This is a republic. That's how it works. We have different ideas, different philosophies, all that good stuff. It balances out. So I wanted to balance it out. And then we, somewhere along the way, I found Veronica. She was my co-host. I met her and she gave me some great ideas, and we started doing something on the entertainment side. And we wanted to talk about politics and kind of bring more of a natural, maybe a lighter flavor to politics, because it was just so serious in Maverick County, and it always will be. We wanted to kind of give an be like political analysts, sort of.
Yeah.
in a fun way. And then after that was, okay, well, you know what? I've gotten to know the spectrum of the politics in Maverick County. Why not contribute to it in a positive way?
Yeah.
And that's what it was kind of like a huge shift. I'm still having my podcast just right now, just taking a break.
Well, you have to. I mean, how you can't spread yourself too thin, especially when you're running a campaign. You got to be on point for that. Now, I agree with you what you said about Eagle Pass with the intensity of the political scene here. It's when I moved here, the first election cycle that I was able to take part in, I could not believe the parking lot outside the polling place, because where I'm from, that's not allowed. You can't do that. So I was like, what the hell is going on here? And all these people waving signs and shouting and screaming.
Oh, it used to be way worse than that. I heard that it used to be the different sides or parties were right. Like, here's the door, and like there's a walkway, and each side was taken. So like every time a voter would walk through, it's like you're getting attacked. So they changed.
It's kind of like when you walk through the mall, right? And the people with the perfume bottles.
Yes.
And you're getting sprayed left and right.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
And they had to change that. I don't know, Joe. I don't know if you can see comments on your end from me.
No.
But I know I'm seeing questions. I don't know if I can answer one really quick. I know we don't have too much time.
No, go ahead. Just throw the question out there. And
this one says, this was from Trailero Perro. I'm guessing it's some kind of, I don't know what kind of profile. It says, ask him to give an honest answer, no BS. What is his take on Puerto Verde? I'm sure you've heard about that. Is he for or against it? If he was to go into office, how would he handle the Puerto Verde situation? Thanks for the question, man. You know what? I did explain this in multiple town halls. But I'll explain it to you here. You know what? I don't want to give an irresponsible answer. I never did. But as of now, yes, I am against it. However, I'm not against outside investors. We need outside investors for this county. Right now, there's so many negatives towards Puerto Verde right now. I don't want to be totally super all the way against it, but I did say, and I did make a pledge that I would rescind it, since there's no sign of it benefiting the community at this point. So, however, if it does benefit the community and it does become a project that does benefit the county and the city, and we do get an extra revenue source, then of course I'll be behind it. But as of now, no. So thanks for the question.
Okay. Yeah, just for the folks that are watching, listening, I can't see your questions unless you're on our Rumble stream or on our YouTube stream. I can't see anything that you're putting up there. So maybe what we can do is we could keep track of the questions coming in, and after we get through, time permitting, of course, we get through the rest of the interview, we could address some of those questions if that's okay with everybody. So.
Yeah, you're getting some views here, man.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, come on, man. You're great.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. So, all right. So I want to pivot away from, your background stuff. I want to kind of dig into more of your engagement with the community and such. So what inspired you to start the Now You Know Eagle Pass podcast? You kind of touched on it already, but let's a little more detail on that one. So when I first helped, I believe it was 4 years ago, actually, when during I call it the Ramsey race. We all supported Ramsey English Cantu back in the day. We thought he was a big change for Maverick County. I'm not dogging him right now, guys. Don't think this is a shooter interview, because this is definitely not what it's about. No, we won't do that.
No, absolutely not. I respect him a lot. I've had conversations with him. I've wished him good luck. And I still to this day wish him, the best of luck. But afterwards, when he won, that was actually one of the first times when a little light flickered on about running. But then I'm like, no, how about we do something else? Why don't we do a podcast? And I've always liked watching Joe Rogan. I was about to say Joe Rooz, but I wasn't watching Joe Rooz back.
I'll take the credit. It's fine.
If Joe Rooz was there back in the day, I'd be watching it. So I was watching Joe Rogan. I liked watching the Daily Wire. I'm not so much of a big Ben Shapiro fan right now. I don't know what's going on with him and Candace, but I'm going to let them settle that.
Yeah, there's a weird dynamic going on there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I liked watching
think they secretly love each other.
Yeah, I think so too. I like watching Matt Walsh too. He's great. All the Daily Wire. If anybody knows what Daily Wire is, it's a conservative podcast. Well, now it's bigger. They do movies and all this other stuff. It's a huge organization. But I loved watching those. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to do something like that. Let's. And at first, I started with just a MacBook Air, and I tried to find whatever microphones I could. I actually started with one. And it wasn't one of these. It wasn't a pod mic. It was like, I don't know, some Blue Sky microphone that was for two people. And it wasn't working out. So I finally saved up and I got a Rodecaster, and I finally got some generic microphones. And then I wanted to, and I actually asked myself, okay, well, I'm doing this conservative thing. Why don't we change it? Let's do something for small businesses. Let's promote the small businesses in Eagle Pass. And that's what I fell in love with. I love the small businesses here. Everybody's so great, man. From, you have Treats by Dawn, which is a bakery that's up on El Indio. Great.
Very good, by the way.
And you tried it?
Yes, I have.
Aha, yes.
Yes.
Perfect, man. The cakes are great, not too sweet.
No, they're really good.
Yes, just right. Shout out to Aurora Castellon if she's watching. Great bakery. There's other ones out there. There's Sweet Tweets too, and there's Blue Bonnet. Yeah, all these good spots, and there's all kinds of places. I can name every single one of them. All three barbecue spots. I love them. I know I got flack for a couple of posts I made, but you know what? I support all small businesses, from Orly's Barbecue to Choches to Wagon Wheel. I support all of them. I support all my small businesses here, and I want to continue to do that. I don't want to go off topic here, but we'll rewind. Yeah, that's what I started doing. And then somewhere along the line, when I picked up Veronica, we're like, why don't we do politics? Let's advertise people's campaigns, all of them, not picking sides. Cause I think the biggest problem in Maverick County is a lot of the media pick sides. Sorry guys, it's just the way it is. Or sometimes they do it for money. So I wanted to do it, I wanted to do news and politics for free, and trying to get sponsors, and just so that way the community doesn't have to be charged, or we don't have to charge anybody to put their stuff out, the information, the community. It should be free. You know what I mean? Kind of like I'm having a bit of a Tron moment here. They had free software at Encom or whatever, but I don't think anybody gets that. But
you have to be in the know for that one.
Yeah, that's an insider for me. But yeah, I wanted to give something to the community. I've been blessed with so much things, and I think this podcast, now Eagle Pass, which is a mixture of news and podcasting, was something I wanted to give. And I thought that my voice, I don't want to sound conceited, like my voice is a gift to Maverick County. Using my skills and my ability to talk and give them information, that's what I wanted to use to give.
So what issues kept coming up that made you realize that something needed to change?
Oh man, how many issues do you want me to give you? I don't want to go over the hour.
Pick the top one that comes to your mind first.
I have to say that, and I always say this, there's so much division in our town, so much animosity towards each other. And I think that reaches all the way to politics. And when your elected officials are fighting with each other, nothing's getting done. That's just the way it is. I mean, we see it at the local level, you see it at the federal and state level. It's just it's such a distraction that our county's not getting anything done. You know what I mean? And I think whatever the case may be, I'm not going to make any allegations. There's so many rumors and chisme out there that we can't confirm. So I'm not even going to bring that up. The main thing is we're divided and we need to come together, because I've seen it. I've seen this community come together, and I always bring up we call it the big freeze, the big snowstorm. And was it 22? Yeah, where everybody's power was shutting off, everybody's pipes were breaking, and then you go and you see everybody like, hey, come over to the house, we have, we're cooking some barbecue. If anybody has if their food went bad, come on over, we got stuff to eat, or we have extra gas. That was something I loved, and that's where my slogan, Stronger Together, came from.
Yeah,
that's what the biggest issue to me is that right now we know that this community can be great together. And I think we just need to be consistent with it. And we need leadership in office to be able to advocate for that. And I think that's really going to help.
Yeah, I agree with you. I saw that also during COVID, people bringing food to folks that are under the quarantine, they were sick and whatnot. Even myself, when I had COVID, I had folks that I knew that were very nice to bring food over. My neighbors, looked out for us. And so I saw that. And, for someone, again, not from here, it was very different. New York, you're kind of on your own with a lot of things. Nobody gives a crap. So
you got another question. I'm sorry. Is that if I read it? Says, what's your approach on border security? No, I'm definitely all for border security. I'm definitely in support of the Border Patrol. I think we need more Border Patrol out there. I just think that we need to get, we need to tug on the governor's ears and maybe try to do something a little bit different with the river. I know a lot of people are upset with the buoys. I think there's other ways we can protect the border, but no, I'm all 100% for it. We're all human beings. I know that there's with the last administration of so much chaos and so much disorganization. We need to fix it. But yeah, no, I'm 100%.
I think I figured out why I can't see the questions, because you're clicking on them and it removes it from the little icon.
Oh no,
there.
I haven't clicked.
Oh no,
no,
because I just opened the comments and I saw a bunch of questions.
Oh, okay.
So, but okay. So now I know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah,
that's another one of those. If you know, you knows.
So
now through your show, you've had the chance to speak with members of the community directly. What concerns do people raise the most or the most often?
First of all, do I sound better?
Yes, I took care of it on my end.
Oh, okay. Damn it. Okay, sorry.
You're good.
I'm sorry. What was the question again? I was trying to fix that. Sorry.
Through the show that you do, you've spoken to a lot of folks from the community, and I'm sure there are concerns that come up most frequently. But what concerns do people raise most often for you?
I'd have to say that the concerns would be corruption. That's a very strong word. We don't have. I mean, you don't either. You have the proof or you don't. I didn't want to be that person. I used to be that person that wanted to fight corruption, but it just kind of blows back on you a little bit, especially in a small town. Not that I'm saying it should thrive, but again, that's like, it's all speculation at that point, sure. And you could easily, without verifying and without getting the facts, you can get in trouble. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I've seen people get in trouble about it before. I think that was the main one to me. And I was like, well, you know what? I can't physically, I'm only one person. Everybody really needs to get involved and show face, and that's where like you get all the anonymous compro y vendo people, that, talk about corruption or talk about one person or one elected official is doing this, or this person's getting paid this. And, you really have to have your facts straight.
Yeah, I agree with you. So what's really surprised you the most about covering local government since you started covering it?
What surprised me the most, man, I would say people's reactions. I think that when you cover something that, when an issue arises and it hurts somebody's feelings, you get a really strong reaction, not from that person, but also from the people that support that person. So, that was one of my woes as a journalist. You can't make any friends when you're trying to hold everybody accountable. So yeah, basically it's the reactions of people.
Yeah. So transparency. You've talked about transparency as being a major theme of your campaign. What transparency issues concern you the most right now?
Right now, I believe it's putting information out, via Facebook or a newsletter or through the media. I think one of the biggest issues that I was talking about at the town hall, at the accountability meet we had, was when are we going to have the commissioner's court meetings? Is it going to be consistent? Is it going to be at a time where people are going to be able to attend, not when it's at 3:00 in the afternoon where people are still working? Mm-hmm. I think that was a big issue to me, because sometimes I wouldn't even know when the regular meetings happen. That's the same thing with city council too. Well, city council is easy. It's every first Tuesday of the month. But in the county level, there's so many meetings, special meetings, and I really think that's something people need to be a part of. And I think people really need, I think at the county level, we really need to inform people. And if they miss it, well, we need to let them know what they missed. Because if they miss it, and a lot of people aren't going to go back and watch it on YouTube, and then they obviously can't go back because it's already happened in the physical, a physical presence. Mm-hmm. Give them a recap. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, like give them something like that. You
had to do that while I was taking a sip, right? Okay, thanks.
Well, I mean, you get it, right? So, like, give them a recap. This is what happened last time. We voted on this. This is how someone reacted. Something like that.
Sure. No, I agree with you on that. What do you think is the biggest transparency gap in Maverick County government today?
Definitely the budget. Mm. I don't think people. I mean, people were very shocked when it's already been revealed, but when I let everybody know at that accountability meet that our sheriff's department only has three deputies per shift covering the entire county. And that's a shocker. And I actually spoke with, Chief Deputy Leon about it. And it's true. It's a fact. There's the funds from the sheriff's department have been just totally drained. Like there's nothing. There's no new vehicles. There's no vehicle maintenance. There's less pay. It's terrible. And I
was actually surprised at the pay rate that the deputies get.
Right. And there's the transparency gap. Like you think that maybe if you would have said something, what do you say to that? How are you going to be transparent about that? Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to be transparent about that, then something's wrong. You're not doing something right. And I'm so big on law enforcement. Like that is what protects us, and the Maverick County Sheriff's Department is supposed to be, or any county sheriff's department is supposed to be the pinnacle of any law enforcement.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's my take on that.
So then how would you ensure that the public can see how county funds are being used?
Simple. You know what? I know the budget is there where you can go to maverickcountystexas.com or maverickcounty.texas and go and look at the budget, but not everybody's going to do that. Mm-hmm. They're not going to take the time out of their day to go into the website, to click on resources, to click on the budget, and then they got to squint their eyes like this and try to find out, and they have to zoom in, and it's a pain. So why not find a different source of information or any way to transmit this information to people? A newsletter maybe, or hey, this is what's going on with the budget. This is our budget right now, and if it's been amended, okay, this is what we fixed. If something's being diverted, hey, look, we diverted funds from here to there. You know what I mean? That's the whole key to transparency. And I know it might not be that simple, but you have to try at least. Or put a YouTube video out. Hey, this is how you see the budget. Sorry, I know I said YouTube.
It's okay.
YouTube sucks, but
it's okay.
It's a habit.
We understand.
Do an instructional video on how to look at the budget. Because again, we have elderly too. The county is filled with our elderly, and they're not very tech savvy. So, kind of, I don't want to say Barney it down, but I sometimes I need things to be Barney down, not everybody's just going to pick it up and learn. You have to teach them.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. So, what do you think are some of the biggest infrastructure challenges that Maverick County faces right now?
Oh, definitely water and sewer. In the rural areas like Quemado and El Indio. We talk about that almost all the time, and it's not happening. I don't want to really get too into what's, oh my gosh, like there's so much stuff going on with it, like from the certificates of obligation being jammed up by the public to past administrations not being able to get the job done for water and sewer in Quemado. I think that has to do a lot with not agreeing with each other on things. I know that, and I will say this, I know that some other politicians do stuff to spite other politicians. I'm not going to name who. that's one of the issues that we have, and that's why we're not able to actually get this infrastructure going, and that's why we have this big problem. We're not willing to work together. We're not willing to say, hey, all right, you know what? I'm not a big fan of you, but you know what? We need to get this done. Our infrastructure is so outdated. We need to work together. And not a lot of people are willing to do that. I get it. A lot of bad blood. So
let's see. We got a question here for you. Now that I can see them, I'll bring it up here for you. Ruben, can you tell us the history of Quemado? I know I'm not saying it right. Don't judge me. I don't speak Spanish.
The history of Quemado. Shoot. Like, what kind of history? Like, are we talking about when it was founded, when it was, when the community was brought up? I need some details, George, my friend George, man.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for a
we'll wait for a spot.
So with these challenges that we're facing, what's your plan to address them? How would you take care of it?
As far as like
the challenges facing the county right now, the infrastructure challenge.
How would I address it? Well, I mean, plain and simple, you have to really, again, this is where working together comes together. I'm sorry, I said that twice. You actually get some engineers going. See
it's
what
the cold medicine.
Yeah, I think so. Get some engineers going. Go explore more grants. I know they're doing that now, but keep exploring more and more grants, because that's what we need to. Let's face it. That's what we're going to need. We need grants to help fund these projects. Just straight up, get the media at my door so we can give them the status on what's going on with these rural communities and why our infrastructure is like this. I have to give them an answer. If I don't have an answer, I need to go look for it as a county judge, and actually as an entire commissioner's court. We need to find that answer and give it to them. And we can't sugarcoat it. If we can't get Quemado or El Indio water, we have to tell them, look, this is why we can't get it. But we're going to do what we can to get it. And as of now, it's, to me, from what it looks like, our county is just too poor. We can't match these grants to be able to fund these projects. Mm-hmm. I believe someone had told me that back in the day, I'm not sure which administration it was, that we were actually able to do it. And then for some reason, our elected officials had a difference and it wasn't able to get through. I don't know who it was. I guess that's speculation, but I wouldn't doubt it because it's still the way it is today.
Okay. George has a follow-up. So why haven't services been able to come into this rural area in the county, Quemado, Texas? What's blocking the services?
I think I answered that question. I think it's our elected officials not being able to get along. I hope that answers that question. I think that when our officials are doing stuff to spite each other, to block each other, nothing gets done. Nothing is going to get done. Like I said, we have to work together as commissioners and county judge. I believe I did get some knowledge from one of our commissioners because I love to go visit them and learn from them. We had, I guess, there was a cesspool problem in the Quemado area, and I believe that according to the commissioner, that there was they were able to get 100% grant to fix that. For some reason, it fell through. They had an opportunity. It got blocked. They had no idea why it never came to fruition. And I was very shocked to hear that. Like, why would that happen? And that's, like I said, my guess is, some folks just can't get along, I guess.
Yeah. So you had mentioned about attracting businesses to the county. So how do you attract businesses and economic opportunity to this county?
Well, we have to let them know that this county is huge. There's so much land and there's so much potential for it. Eagle Pass is growing. And I think we have, and not to knock the city of Eagle Pass, but we need more than just fast food restaurants. You know, we need more higher paying jobs. You know, I think we have enough fast food restaurants. I think we can do without for a little bit. But we need like warehousing. We have a warehouse district or an industrial district. We need more warehousing jobs. You know, those jobs pay really good. You know, give them a tax abatement and you know, so that way they can be able to flourish. And then you can be able to give the people of Maverick County and Eagle Pass high paying jobs. You know, we wouldn't have to go and search in Del Rio or wherever, San Antonio, to go work. I work in Del Rio, you know, and there's just no job security here. There's not, unless you're working for the school district and unless you're working for the county or the city, which that gets political at some point. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. So I know we kind of touched on a little bit of this already, but I want to go back to it from a different angle. What do people outside of Maverick County misunderstand about life in a border community?
Wow. You know, I should be able to answer that question because I'm originally from California. Well, no, because all my family is actually in the Valley. My grandma, all my cousins and stuff. I think what people misunderstand about the border communities is what actually goes on over here. You have a lot of people on the outside that don't don't really that can only speculate on what's going on. You know, when you're actually in it and you're actually in the neighborhoods, you know why some of our communities are going through some poverty, like you get the full brunt of it and you understand. Mm-hmm. And especially with all the border stuff that we got going on with border security and all that. So yeah, you actually have to live here to actually understand what's actually going on in these border communities. And you know what? It's great. You know, they can be great. And especially when we're in unison with Mexico, you know, I've gone to Piedras Negras a few times. It's great. I love going there. It's beautiful. The people are nice. Yeah, that's my take on that. I hope I answered the question. I feel like I was kind of going.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a word salad, but that's all right.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. I understand. It was kind of a tough question to answer.
Yeah, I was trying to like pick my own brain and see what I can come out.
That's right. Next time you're on, we'll tackle that one.
Right on.
All right. So then, how does leadership, local leadership, balance security, community stability, and economic growth?
Ask me that question one more time. I'm sorry.
How do local leaders balance security, community stability, and economic growth?
Definitely responsible budget. I mean, yes, I understand that we need parks and we need recreational centers and stuff like that. But we really need to prioritize and balance our budget, mm-hmm. whether it's to road and bridge, whether it's to public safety, mm-hmm. All the things that need to come first. We really need to prioritize that. And I think working together with the city, and again, when it comes to prioritizing parks and different, you know, nicer, luxurious things, that can come afterwards. I think you just got to find a way to work as a team and be able to prioritize that.
Okay. Now you've mentioned public safety. You've mentioned your support for law enforcement. What do you think, or what do you see are the biggest security concerns or the biggest safety concerns in Maverick County today? Big time EMS and fire services. The whole fiasco with not being able to pay the city what it was due for the county to be able to subsidize for that. That caused a real panic when the city put that letter out saying that, hey guys, look, you might not have EMS and fire services by the end of this month if you're not living in the city. That caused a big panic, and to me that's very irresponsible. Mm-hmm. I'm just stating the truth. That's a big issue. I think as a county, we really need to try to find some way to maximize grant usage on that, to be able to get our own county fire and EMS services. From the city, like they have to cover, this entire county is huge.
So that's a big issue there. And another is, of course, the funds for our sheriff's department. They're overloading on overtime, and you have people that are twisting it, saying, well, why would the sheriff's department be draining the overtime on there? Well, hello, the workload is just it's too much. When you have 3 deputies on each shift and you have to have them work longer because you can't cover an entire county, that's a big issue, and that's really unsafe.
Yeah, I've often wondered that too, because you do see the sheriff's department a lot around Eagle Pass. I mean, if they have the whole county to cover, like how often are they actually getting out to the more remote locations in the county? Well,
I'll tell you this: when we had my first town hall, it was in Quemado. Mm-hmm. Someone had I believe they had a problem with blood sugar. It was an elderly gentleman, and they tried to get services out there. It took about 25 minutes, maybe more. It was too long. We had nobody. I mean, we had I believe it was a constable out there. That was a perfect example. I don't know if that was a divine intervention to show the people that this is we need to work on this. Mm-hmm. The response time is too long. And now if someone's getting robbed, or if someone's, there's some vandalism going on at their house, or something very serious, something that might cost somebody their lives. Is it really good to say that, well, this response time is just, you're going to have to deal with it somehow? That's just irresponsible. I think we need to fix that.
No, I agree with you. And I'm a little, I'll admit, I'm a little spoiled, coming from New York, where response time is 5 minutes or less on a 911 call, or it used to be, at least when I was up there. I don't know what it is now. It became a cesspool. But yeah, that's something that you have to cut back on these response times. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
25 minutes for a health emergency. I mean, that is valuable time.
Yeah, and thanks to that helped out there. That probably saved his life. Like everybody pitched in to help out and to make sure that he was stabilized and he was okay.
Well, that's good.
But it was just too much of a long response time. I can't imagine if the gentleman lost his life, what then? What
the fallout from that would be? Yeah, it would be
big
horrible.
Time.
So I'm looking at the clock here, so I want to start to wrap this up here. But so what kind of county do you want Maverick County to become?
I want it to become a united county. I keep saying unity. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of different. And it's okay to be diverse, and it's okay to be different. We don't all have to think the same, but there are times where we need to get together and make decisions that are for the better of this county, for the future of this county. You have to put aside your differences.
Yeah.
If you don't like each other, that's fine. We can't force you to like each other, but do it for the constituents.
Yeah, you're doing it for the community itself. It's not for you individually.
Right. And that's what everybody needs to, I think people forget that. I think a lot of people in my eyes are afraid to piss off other people instead of doing what's best for everybody. And I think our administration had lost sight of that somewhere along the line. Hmm. So hopefully that, if I'm elected, I know that I can be, because I'm not affiliated with any groups, with any political groups, with any families or anything like that. I think that through me, I could be a center mouthpiece for everybody, every single entity. Like I said, Maverick County, Eagle Pass is like its own tribal village. There's different tribes that have to coexist with each other. And they all think that, well, their leader is good to lead everybody. But they all just they don't think the same, and they don't like each other, or someone did something to this person. I think me being elected into that seat, I can be a voice for every single person, every single group, every single entity. So right. Actually, you got another question. I don't know if you can read that. I know we got to wrap it up, but
that's all right. So how does religion and politics play a role in your daily life, and how do you balance that? I think you kind of touched on it a little bit at the very beginning, so maybe you could just elaborate on that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for the question, Fernando. No, I have to be able to instill I have to be able to instill religion, not to the point where I'm shoving it down people's throats or, thumping them in the head with it. But for me, I hope that makes sense. I have to apply what I've learned in the teachings of Jesus Christ and God and everything, and apply it to my own skill set and leadership, and use that example to be able to, to lead, to be able to set the example for people, to be able to have people look up to me and will be able to want to ask me questions and come to me for guidance. Again, I'm not perfect. I never will be. But I can try. That's all we can do is try. That's all Jesus would want. So
you've mentioned leadership many times in the conversation tonight. So what does leadership mean to you at its core?
Leadership to me is definitely selfless service. It's a sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Sacrifice is the main word. You have to really put yourself out there in front of the people that you're taking care of. You have to take accountability, whether you think it's your fault or not. You're responsible for these people. And, that's what I learned in the Army. Again, like we touched base on there earlier. Mm-hmm. You have to be the one willing to say it's your fault. You have to be the one willing to say, you know what, don't worry about it. Tell the taxpayers, I got this. I'll be your voice talk to the legislators, lawmakers, and take the hits. As Rocky once said, you gotta be willing to take the hits. So
that's very true. It's very, very true. And not just in politics and everything else too.
Yep.
So Ruben, when the voters go to the ballot box, what do you want them to understand about you and your vision for Maverick County?
I want them to understand that I want to have a very positive and united Maverick County. I want them to understand that that this is a change that they're all looking for, that we're all looking for, and I don't want any of the constituents or the voters to say that, you know what, we have no choice, we have to vote for this other person. Now, if you really want to change, this is your chance. Take it. I mean, what have you got to lose? Mm-hmm. I think Maverick County, Eagle Pass has been fighting with politics and regretting with what they voted for far too long. I think 4 years of something extremely different wouldn't hurt. Why not? Let's give it a chance.
All right. So, Ruben, who is someone that you respect right now, and what are they doing that inspires you?
Right now, I respect my dad. My dad has always been, someone that I looked up to. He's still working. I've always wanted him to just kind of retire. But a lot of old school dads who still think they gotta, support. He's still doing that, and so I always looked up to him on that. He taught me all the values of being a man and being a leader. So that's who I respect the most.
All right. Outstanding. So where can folks go to find out more about you and about what you're doing?
You can catch us on the Now You Know Eagle Pass platform on our Facebook page, Now You Know Eagle Pass podcast. That's the platform that we usually use to put out my campaign. It has the most reach. I also have my campaign page, which is going to actually targets more about me, my bio and everything, which is Ruben J. Camarillo for Maverick County Judge. We will have a website open soon. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, we have an Instagram. It's my personal one, but sometimes we share stuff on there. So that's another. It's Now You Know EPTX on Instagram.
All right. Well, Ruben, thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. I really do appreciate it. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, and you're not feeling so great, but you hung in there like a trooper. So
I know I'm running out of tissues here, man. I'm sorry.
Good.
Like a faucet.
Isn't it kind of prophetic that I told you to make sure you have extra tissues handy, not knowing that you were already sick? So.
Well, yeah, it is what it is, man. But hey, I hope this shows that I'm willing to show up even if I'm sick. Yeah. So I'm really working hard. I really want to prove to this community that I can do it and that I can lead these people. Like I think I want to succeed where a lot of other Republicans have failed. And I want to be the first one to do that. It's a passion of mine. It's a dream of mine to set the example for everybody. And I am extremely passionate about this. And I hope that you guys would understand that this isn't just something political. It's something very passionate that I hold dear. And I hope I can do the best for you guys that I can.
All right. Outstanding. All right. So we're going to put you backstage. I'm going to wrap this baby up, and then I'll see you on the other end.
All right.
All right. Ruben J. Camarillo. I know I'm not saying it right, but it's close enough. All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Joe.
All right, folks. Leadership isn't defined by titles. It's defined by service, by responsibility, and by the willingness to step forward when others step back. Ruben's journey from military service to business ownership to podcasting and now to running for a public office, that reflects something deeper than politics. It reflects a belief that leadership belongs to those willing to serve their community. I mean, ultimately, the future of Maverick County won't be decided by, campaign signs and campaign slogans. Ultimately, it'll be decided by the voters, by the people who live here, by the people who call it home. And that responsibility belongs to them. I hope you found tonight's conversation with Ruben to be helpful in your decisions when you come to the ballot box. We're definitely going to have him back on the show again to talk about some more stuff and get to know him a little bit better in the capacity of a candidate running for office. Again, like I said, Ruben and I, we've done shows together, and so we all know him from his podcasting persona, but we need to learn more about him as a candidate and maybe a future county judge. So stick with us as we get to know him a lot better. All right, folks, let's see. Let's wrap this whole thing up here. So let's see. I got to pay a bill. So tax season is upon us, and we all know that taxation is theft, is absolutely theft. But you still got to file your taxes. And the folks over at Diamond Dynasty Tax Group Legacy, which is a local Eagle Pass business, has you covered. They did my taxes for me last year when we purchased the asylum and did all the renovations and built the studio and stuff. And I tell you, I gave them a stack of receipts about this big, and they went through all of that. They maximized the refund. They minimized the stress. They got the whole thing squared away and taken care of for me. And they can do the same thing for you. So give them a call at 830-867-7106. It's 830-867-7106 for Diamond Dynasty Tax Group Legacy right here in Eagle Pass. Try them out, 830-867-7106. All right. Now, of course, as always, we come to the point where we give our shout-outs to our executive producers, Wayne Rankin, Rosanna Rankin, Carolina Jimenez, Marissa Lee, and the inestimable anonymous Angela. Thank you guys for all the work that you put into getting these shows put together and getting everything coordinated. Really do appreciate it. These folks, they donate their time, their talent, their treasure. We call it the 3 Ts. It's a part of the value for value model that we follow. And let's see. It's part of the value for value model that we follow. And, if you want to get involved, if you want to help us out, you could do that very simply by heading over to our website, joerooz.com/support. And when you get over there, you can see all the different ways that you can help us out through donating your time, your talent, or your treasure. All right. I think that should just about do it for me for tonight. So again, folks, thanks for spending the time with us tonight. Thanks to Ruben for joining us. Really do appreciate his insight and his honesty with us. So, folks, don't forget to head over to our website, joerooz.com. Send us over a message. Let us know what you're thinking. Questions, comments, cares, or concerns. We want to hear from you. All right, folks, listen, don't forget, make Texas independent again. Go podcasting. Keep a steady stride. Keep talking. We'll see you Sunday. Have a great one, folks.